up, everybody? It is your favorite host, Amelia, coming back to you for another episode of the Sip and Sip podcast. Tonight's guest really doesn't need an introduction, but I'm going to introduce you to him anyway. I am so elated to have Jones on our podcast. He is a rapper, singer, songwriter, and of course, he is a Southern gent. So I want you guys to please welcome artist John.
Hey,
What's up?
thank you
Pew
so
pew
much
pew
for having me.
pew.
Thank you so much
What?
for having me.
Yes, it is a pleasure to have you on the Sip and Sip podcast. And like I said, I love interviewing my Southern gents. It's something about a Southern gentleman that just rubs me the right way. I love it. I love it. And I read about your journey, and of course, you have some dope music that's already out, and you just put out a new single, and
I
we're going to get to
did.
all that. But I want to hear about who is Jones. um how did you fall in love with music?
Ooh, we started with the heavy
Oh,
question.
it
Yeah.
got deep, didn't it? It got deep
Oh
right then.
man. Okay, I love that though. I love that. So I fell in love with music. Somebody probably is gonna say this sounds a bit corny, but it's the truth. I'm an
Hmm.
only child,
I
and
am too.
see, I knew it was something about you. Uh, but um, when a lot of time I got like 80 cousins, but
Hmm.
after I got done spending time at auntie and uncle house or grandmama house, when I got back home, it was just me.
Hmm.
So when I didn't have company or anybody to talk to, the radio was there. So
Hmm.
they singing and rapping and whatever, and I'm like, I can do that with you. So it was like it kept me company, man. Music was like
Hmm.
a almost like a best friend to me
Hmm.
for a
Hmm.
very long time because it was something that I fell in love with because of how it made me feel.
Hmm. I love hearing that. And you know what? Hearing you, growing up as an only child like I did as well, I put it like this. I turned to television and
Mm,
watching newscasts and act like I'm talking to somebody sitting
yeah,
there because I didn't have anybody to fight with at home. And it just became therapeutic. I loved
yep,
entertainment. So when I'm watching different things on television, I'm sitting up there with a microphone in my hand like I'm interviewing people on the red carpet. So I
time.
feel you. You had to make your own fun, and that's how I fell in love with media. So I
Yep,
really do feel you
that's fine.
on that. Growing up as an only child, and you grew up in the South, but you were born in Texas,
Yep,
which I feel like is not really the South, it's really like Southwest, but you moved to Mississippi and you had,
yes,
so many family members in the South. So
yeah.
can you tell me, growing up in the South, how was that an influence on you to say, you know what, I think I got something. I think I can really do this music thing. Like, how
Well,
was it growing up in the South to, be around so much influence?
well, as you know, firsthand experience, music is a big part of our culture in the South.
Mm.
Whether it's gospel music, mass choirs, or even just grandma singing while she cooking.
Mm-hmm.
Just whatever the case may be, music was always there. Like there was no getting away from it. So it's kind of hard to not fall in love with something that's always there. It's
Mm-hmm.
almost like a companion, if you will. And, for me personally, I did grow up in church, so
Mm.
hearing it weekly, and then you go to school after a certain point, you're doing plays, they've got musicals, then you join
Mm-hmm.
the elementary, high school bands and stuff like that. It's just everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So, after a certain point, I've always fell in love with it. And just listening so closely to artists like Michael Jackson. My mom,
Oh
give her
yes.
credit because she had one of those huge CD cases with like 300 CDs in it. And, even just as a kid, I can remember even as far back as second grade, I didn't know what none of that was, but I was fascinated with the artwork on the CD, like the actual CDs. And I was
Yeah,
like, "Ooh, this is
definitely.
nice. Let's play it." And so it was stuff like that. And then when I loved what I heard, it ended up translating. So about ninth grade, uh, big brother, cousin, fellow artist Flex Harris, he hit me up one day after church, and he was like, "Hey, come here, come over here. I got something I need to show you." And we went back to his crib, man, and he pulled out a microphone and hit record, and it was history after that.
And the rest is history.
The rest
So
is it.
tell me about, you growing up in Mississippi, growing up in the church. What music were you like influenced by heavily? Because you actually, when you got in high school, you were a part of a Christian hip
Yep.
hop group. So what music growing up in Mississippi now, what music kind of influenced you the most?
Influenced me. I mean, obviously gospel. I gotta say that was my start. That was the first I had exposure to um as a performing artist. But I'll even give a nod to my uncle Richard. He was probably one of the biggest Tupac fans that ever lived. Uh,
Yes.
And so, I got a good balance of both sides. Like I got hip hop from that because he swear up and down he Tupac. So reincarnated, right? So but that and then having the church, but it wasn't just limited to those two. Like I said, I fell in love with music in general. So then I started once I got in band, I started looking at instruments and playing drum set and learning piano and
Wow.
guitar. I don't know.
So
I
you
can't play
have an
guitar.
ear
I
for
can't play
music, really. You can play. So let me tell you, are you like a Mozart or something, or like another Alicia Keys? You can play the piano. I
I
heard
wish.
trumpet.
I wish.
I,
I played
so
drum
you
set.
like a Louis Armstrong, basically.
I can do a little something. I
A
won't
little
say that.
something.
That's not my
Okay,
forte.
okay.
If you will.
Okay, okay. I hear you. Now, with you having a ear for music and your influences growing up in the South, and you got this name called Mr. Magic. Now, when I hear Mr. Magic, I'm thinking like Magic Mike, some stripper
Oh
type
my.
stuff. But Mr. Magic,
Yep.
please tell me how you got that first stage name before you changed it. How,
That is
how did you
hilarious.
come up with that, and where did that come from? What was the influence behind it?
This is funny. This is you getting down in the bag, and I love that. I love that. So and really, I've always stood behind being myself, right? So as an artist, especially because there was, like I said, I listened to a lot of people, but I know a lot of them wear a facade. Like that's not who they are. They're entertainers. So, at the end of the day, they'll take that mask off. Well, I was kind of the guys. I was like, well, I don't want to do that. So, Mr. Magic was purely a play off of my name. First name Orlando. So that was just like, and I had been called. People, we kids, so we make it a joke. Oh, Orlando Magic, and I was like, you know what? Bet. So I just took it and ran with it.
So you ran with it, when I think about Orlando Magic, of course, back in the day, I used to watch basketball when Shaquille
Yeah.
O'Neal, Anthony Hardaway used to play for
Yep.
Orlando Magic. But I
Yep.
would never correlate that because I failed to mention you did grow up in Florida as well, Orlando to be exact, right?
No, 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 no.
Oh, you
I,
didn't grow up
I
in
Mississippi all the way through.
Mississippi all the way, but you have, origins from Florida, right?
Yeah, I do have some distant relatives down in that way.
Okay, okay. So, oh my gosh. So I would have gotten it wrong. Cause see, when I'm thinking about, like I said, Mr. Magic, like some stripper
Yeah,
type stuff, would not correlate with the Orlando Magic. But I get it. I
yeah.
get it. Ain't no shame in your game. We talk about you as an artist. I want to talk about you as a songwriter.
Okay.
What is your favorite part about being a songwriter as opposed to a singer and rapper? Because I feel like that's a triple threat in itself. Like some rappers cannot write songs, some songwriters cannot be, artists, singers, or whatever. Like, what is your favorite part about all three? What is your
Hmm.
favorite part about all three?
Telling my truth. Uh,
Mm.
Nobody can tell my truth like me. So, or and I'm inspired by life. So it's not just, oh, I need to try to come up with a hit. No, either it's something I lived through, I've thought, or somebody that I love has experienced. So I'm inspired by my life, man. So that's whether it's my personal experiences or people that I'm close to that have gone through things that has inspired songs, regardless of if it's love songs or motivational songs, keep going, keep pushing, keep fighting, or hey, I'm angry because injustice and stuff like that. It just life in general, but nobody can tell it from my lens like I can.
Right. Correct. Correct. And nobody can walk in your shoes
That's a
but
fact.
you. But when we listen to artists and their artistry, and it kind of does put you in their shoes, it's the creativity. But like you said before, it's speaking your truth, because that's the only thing you know how to do, is really speaking your truth and honing in on it. I want to shift gears, as we keep, talking about you as an artist and your
Okay.
music. I want to switch to you about being an independent artist. And I know sometimes when I talk to different artists, everybody has a different journey. What
Okay.
do you think has really been the hardest part of your journey as an independent artist? I know it hasn't always been rainbows and suns and clouds, all
Right.
the good shit. But what is the hardest part of being an independent artist? What is something that the audience doesn't know?
Mm. I wouldn't say the struggle with accepting the fact that, well, there's two sides to that. So now the hardest part is giving up.
Mm.
Because I've trained myself to think and know, like, hey, you right there, just keep going. But back in the earlier days, I wasn't always as confident in being me. So
Mm.
even the songwriting was like, okay, I need to come up with this type of song, or I need to sound like this person if I'm going to be successful. So getting out of that mindset was the hardest part because I wasn't all the way being myself. I was trying to be what I felt like the industry at large wanted. And once I broke out of that, man, I felt so free. Just like, you know what? I'm gonna do what feel good to Jones, and we just gonna keep it like that. The people that like it, like it. The ones that don't, don't. So that
And you
was
s-
it.
and you still have, the support. What do you think now, as music has constantly evolved and changed,
Yes.
and for every genre,
Right.
and most, you have more artists now are becoming independent as
Yep.
far as being, a mainstream artist, or some have been mainstream artists and now are more independent. What
Right.
do you think are the pros and cons of being independent as opposed to being mainstream?
That's an excellent question as well. And I hope anything that I'm saying encourages the person that's listening or that has been thinking about trying to go for it. Because I like to think that life is about perspective, right? So um, the best way that you can attack any situation is your mind first. So for me, in my opinion, I give both sides of it. So being a mainstream artist, you more times than not have the support and backing, whether that's studio access, financial resources, marketing, etc. A team of people that are dedicated to your success. Um, that's one of the benefits of it. But on the flip side of it, you give up a lot of your control over your artistry in different ways when you have to be subjected to whatever their conditions are. Hey, we'll give you this money for you to do your art, but you have to do it the way we want you to do it. Versus being an independent artist, you got complete control. You know, you might have investors that you have to work with and represent a certain way, but ultimately, you get to decide when you release music. You get to decide how you release music. You get to decide what genre you want to release in. But that comes at the sacrifice of all of those resources that this mainstream person has access to. You got to get it out the mud and get it on your own if you independent.
Exactly.
So
Exactly. And have a right team behind you
yep,
that knows the business.
absolutely.
I see so many artists that, want to jump from point A straight to C,
Yep,
and they skip B, but they don't have the right team or the right management or the right publicist to
yep,
back them or all of that. You have to, for me, you have to know the ins and outs of the business. Like
absolutely.
that is like the most important thing. And I definitely feel you on that when it comes to independent artists and mainstream artists. I wanna switch gears a little bit and get
Okay.
back to you on your musical journey, because while you were in college, you started taking music a little bit more seriously. Like it wasn't like, a hobby anymore. It was like, you know what, I got something and I'm gonna run with it, I'm gonna pursue it. And you kind of produced and came out with your first mixtape, and it hit the radio down in
Yeah.
Mississippi. So talk to me about hearing your mixtape
Mhm.
back in the day, which was like 2011, but it's not back in the day.
11. Yep.
But well, for now for us it is back in the day. But
Right.
tell me, what was that moment like for you, and what kind of was that like your peaking point to say, you know what, this is gonna be what I want to do full time? Like, was that at that moment? Was that your aha? Like, I got it. Like, I'm getting it.
I feel what you said. So let me clarify first.
Mhm.
Uh, well, actually, before I answer that, may I
Mhm.
please just give a shout out and acknowledgement because you said artists with the right team. Shout out to Brittany, Brit3 on
Yes. Shout out to
Instagram.
Brett.
Thank you for setting this up. That's my publicist. Her birthday was yesterday. Happy
Happy
birthday
birthday,
again.
Brett.
You know, she's 25, so she had a good day. Everything was cool. Mama, thank you for setting this up. So to answer your question specifically, I've always known that I wanted to be an entertainer to some degree.
Mhm.
Um, Even back in my early days as part of the gospel group Christ, like shout out to those are like my blood family members.
Mhm.
Um, I knew then because I took it that seriously. Like I was the one, not to say that they weren't, but I was the one that was like practicing in the mirror and writing and making beats too and trying to always be a part of whatever was coming
Mhm.
next. Like, hey, we got a show. Oh, let me hop on this song. And I didn't always get it because I was the youngest in the group. But
Mhm.
uh, that was part of my determination too, to make my presence felt. Like, so I took it that much more serious because I felt like as the baby of the group, it would be easier to write me off if I wasn't
Yeah.
bringing the heat. But
Yeah.
they couldn't deny it. So my aha moment happened a long time ago.
Mhm.
But fast forward to college, doing that mixtape, man, it really seeing the way that people resonated to it. I pressed up back then. I pressed up 100 CDs. I think it cost me somewhere like $300, and so I had to save for I don't even remember how long because I was a broke college student. But uh, I was able to. I gave some away, but I was able to sell probably 75% of those CDs and seeing that people were
Wow.
actually liking what they heard.
Yeah.
And this was my first branch off as my own artist, separating from the Christ Night gospel group thing. This was me. And I was like, you know what? I can do this. Like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it because I have $0, but I'm gonna figure it out and we gonna make something shake. And yeah, that was it.
So, when that mixtape came out, and
Mhm.
all the excitement, all the support, and
Yep.
everything that you have been working for and praying for, it did come into fruition. But
Mhm.
I want to fast forward, because a
Okay.
couple of years later you had a project to drop, and that went to number 6 on the billboards.
It did. It
So
did.
from starting off, being influenced by music at a young age, fast
Mhm.
forward to being in a Christian hip hop group, to
Yep.
getting your song and a mixtape all on the radio.
Yep.
Then 2 years later, after that, your project went number 6 on Billboard. How did that all come full circle for you? And what was that like, to reach
Oof.
that type of success at that
So
age?
yeah, that's I remember how almost all of this stuff happened. Me ending up on the radio from that one song on my mixtape.
Mhm.
I
Mhm.
saw one of the radio personalities broadcasting from Corner Market, and or he said it on the radio, and I had just got off work, so I was like, man, I'm finna pull up on him. And I had my mixtape there, so I pulled up
Yes.
on him. I approached him. That was DJ Joe King. I think he goes by Big Daddy on the radio. Um, Pulled up to him, gave him my CD, introduced myself. He was the reason I got set up with Mr. Niece Brooks. You see, I'm giving credit to the people that helped
Yes.
me on the
That
way.
yes. Get it.
I
Hey,
need
give your flowers.
straight up, like I'm passing out the flowers, the stems, and the seeds. I need them to know because they helped me to even get to this point. So, big love to Miss Denise Brooks. She was the one at the station that really put everything together for me. But fast forward, like you said, to reaching Billboard, that was 2019. Um,
Mm.
and it was surreal. It was really surreal because I never forget, I was at work and
Mhm.
I got an email from somebody I had never talked to before in my life.
Mhm.
They were like, "Hey, I need XYZ information from you because your project is gonna hit Billboard charts." And I was like, I'm like, but I was like, okay, well, if this is real, give me a call. And so I sent him my phone number, and sure enough, my phone rang 5 minutes later, and he introduced
Wow.
himself, like, "Hey, I'm XYZ, blah blah blah. I know this was left field for you, probably unexpected, but yeah, it's looking like your project is gonna chart." And sure enough, like a week later, we were in Billboard magazine. So the thing is, we were on 6 Billboard charts, but
Mhm.
the only one that actually gets printed in the magazine, the actual Billboard magazine, is the Heat Seekers chart, and they do that for new artists that drop a project that move X amount of units. So, yeah, it was surreal, man, and it led to a lot more doors being open just because I was able to put that as seen on Billboard,
Mhm.
on my
Mhm.
profile.
Mhm. That's dope. I love that. And just, I mean, it never in your wildest dreams that you would think that this would happen so fast
Yes.
at your age. And I'm just amazed, because that's awesome. And I know this new project that you're gonna have coming out is gonna go to number 1, and we're
Ooh,
gonna
talk that
be we're
talk.
gonna be looking at that.
Let me give you one on that.
Pew, 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 pew. So I do want to ask you, since we're talking about new projects, you just dropped a new single
I
actually
did.
that came out last week called Rush. Now
Yes.
tell me your creative process behind this new single, why it was called Rush, and just tell me a little bit about it.
Okay. So Rush is ironically titled, first of all,
Mhm.
because the message of the song is to take things slow. Uh,
Mm.
so like I said, nobody can tell my truth like me. And
Mhm.
for me, that song was accountability.
Mhm.
Um, and encouraging myself and reminding myself to live in the moment and stop
Mm.
trying to rush through the process. Similarly to what you said earlier about artists trying to jump from A to C
Mhm.
without stopping and paying attention, like, hey, B was an important part of this process. So, taking the time, whatever it is, whether it's love, Whether it's romance, business, just embrace the fact that you have the chance to feel. Uh,
Mm.
I will say, I did take the love route on that,
Uh-huh.
um, and I did want it to be a romantic kind of um, bringing. So I wanted to, when we did the writing and recording, like the instrumental really set the tone for me. Um,
I love the beat. I
yeah,
love it.
I
It's
let it.
so it's
Thank you.
so like R&B. Like
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
the R&B queen, but it makes you feel like, dang, I don't let me call this dude up like right now and just
Right.
like
And see, that's the
uh
feeling. The feeling. That's it
yeah.
right there. I'm like, don't rush that. Like, let's sit in this for a moment and,
Yeah.
remind ourselves how we got here. We know where we finna go. We know
Mhm.
what's about to happen, but let's enjoy this.
Mhm. Moment.
You know what? I'm gonna go on. Can I keep it 100 with you?
You just keep it 100. You can go deep.
So I look at Rush as like the song that's embracing foreplay, right? And
Mm.
saying this is important. Don't speed past this because you know where you want to go. You know what's gonna happen when you get there. But
Mhm.
this moment right here is the reason that you're gonna get there. So it's like
Yes.
don't rush through that. Like embrace
Mhm.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
I love that. Now you done got me a little hot on this podcast. Now talking about
Oh my goodness.
all of this. Hey, it is what it is. But
Oh
the
my
the
goodness.
song "Rush," it is a beautiful song. It
Thank you.
is that true essence of R&B. And
Thank you,
of course,
baby.
we're going into February,
Yep.
Valentine's Day,
Yep.
the perfect song, fellas, with ladies. Like, this
Yep.
is really the perfect jam. If you want to do a little foreplay or a little play, lead into that, but enjoy the moment. Like,
Yep. Yep.
like
That's
he
it.
said, remind you how we got to this moment and just
Absolutely.
take it all in. So, is Rush going to have a visual? Because, I mean, I've seen some of your videos, of course, Mama Sita. That is a dope
Yeah.
record, a dope
Thank you.
video. Will Rush be getting a video?
Rush does have a video. It will
Oh,
be released on Valentine's Day. Uh,
okay.
yeah. So I
That's
wanted
coming up.
to. So ironically, it was all part of the marketing for it, right? So
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
we consume things at such a increased rate these days, but
mm-hmm.
I wanted us to sit in this moment with this
Mm.
song, okay? And now we're building up to the video drop on the 14th of February.
I love that. So let me talk about, since we are talking about, the new release of the video on Valentine's Day. What can we expect like from the visuals? And of course, it's dropping on Valentine's Day. And I gotta ask you, are you a Valentine's Day man? Like, do you go all out for your significant other? Or, do you really put your thought into Valentine's Day?
I love these questions. I love these questions. Man. Shout out, like, big salute. I love this. So, what to expect from the visual? So, the visual was shot by my guy Yabui Media, excuse me,
Okay.
out of Pensacola, Florida. And the lady that's playing my opposite, her name is. I'm gonna just speak on their apps, their handles, and whatnot.
Mhm.
Her name is simply just unique. No weird
Okay.
spellings or whatever. Beautiful girl, super down to earth. But they made the magic happen. So the visual itself, what I wanted to convey was sexy and
Mhm.
moody, but not
Mm.
overtly sex. Like I said,
Mhm.
it's kind of like, okay, I know where this is headed, but in it, like I still included a little bit of comedy because I'm a goofy cat, man. I like to laugh and
Mhm.
have fun. So the video starts off totally unserious, like
Mhm.
totally unserious, but then it slowly morphs into, oh, okay, so now you're taking me on a journey. And so
Okay.
unique, she killed it. Like I couldn't think of anybody that could do it better than the way that she did it. Like she nailed it. So um you'll get to see a lot of her because she's a very pretty girl. But like I said, I wanted to like, yes, we know this is sexy, but embrace just this moment. Don't try to take it further than what it is. This is where we are. This is what we're bringing to the table. So yeah, it's and then kind of like I wanna paint the picture like a roller coaster ride, right? So it starts off slow, and we go up, and then by the end of it, I bring you back down, and then it's like it goes back to the comedy, right? Because it's just like, woof, okay, we out of this moment, but
Uh-huh.
you're not gonna forget what you see.
Ooh, I like that. And you said it drops on February 14th, so we're
Yeah,
in for a treat for Valentine's Day.
you
But
are
now you got to answer my question. Are
okay.
you like the ultimate
Oh,
Valentine's Day guy? Do you go all out for your significant other? Like roses, chocolate, dinner, trips? Do you fly her out? What is the ultimate like V-Day date for you and your
mm,
like in a significant other?
I love that. So yes, let me answer that. By giving a very quick backstory, I have a history like as a child because obviously I didn't have a job, but I had given some pretty crappy gifts as a kid.
Mm.
Being a creative, they were like, "Oh, well,
Mhm.
just write us a poem." And after a certain point, I'm like, "Nah, that ain't cool. 'Cause I got a whole Christmas list, and
Mhm.
I'm supposed to just write you some poetry. Like that ain't it." So in my adult years, I have tried to do better about giving gifts, and so as far as treating my wife the way that I feel like she would deserve. I do think I give pretty decent gifts.
Okay.
So I try to see how she's feeling and play off of the energy. I listen throughout the year, whether it's birthdays, it's not just Valentine's Day. Like I randomly bring flowers home, or like if I'm at the store picking up whatever, and I see her favorite candy bar, I grab that. Uh, but on the Valentine's Day holiday itself, since that's what we're talking about, I have I have that's almost hard to say because I do a lot of those things throughout the year. So to make it about that day, I have before. I'll say that it hasn't always been that way. But like I said, I bring home flowers randomly, just to do appreciations or send a box of candy. Just say thank you for all of your hard work or what have you. So yeah, I know how to be romantic, but like
It's
I
the
said, I
little
haven't always.
things, and the
I
little things matter.
100%,
The little things
buying your
matter.
favorite candle.
Oh,
Okay, I love you
oh,
type
yes,
stuff.
I'm a
You know
candle
what
girl, so like that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
yeah,
talking about. We like candles and stuff, things
yeah.
that we
I
can
like
put in the
candles too.
house, the room to make it smell good in the
Yep,
ambiance when you come into the queen's lair.
absolutely,
Like,
absolutely. Yep.
so any advice would you give to, you know, you've been married for a long time? The fellas might need a little bit of help when they watch this. Valentine's Day coming up. What advice would you give the fellas? Like, how to wine and dine their significant other, or they trying
Yeah,
to get, the girl and take her out for Valentine's Day. What is your advice for, a guy?
I would say listen and pay attention.
Mm.
Um, it doesn't always have to be hey, what you want for this day? You know what I'm saying? Like, just pay attention throughout the year. Like, perfect example for me. Um, I we hadn't been on vacation in some years, and
Mm-hmm.
throughout the year, I'm hearing her say, "Oh man, I want to go this place. I want to go that place." Or when Wheel of Fortune come on and that prize puzzle, and they're like, "You win a trip to wherever," and she's like, "I want to go." I'm like, "All right, bet." So the whole time I'm digesting this, and for her birthday, I ended up flying her to Cabo for 5 days.
Oh
Uh,
wow.
and yeah, just as not only as a birthday gift, but like I said, we hadn't been on vacation in a while. But that all came from me just listening. Like, I
Mm.
asked, like, hey, what do you want for your birthday? Just to see,
Mhm.
okay, I get that too. Oh, you want some house shoes? All right, cool, whatever.
Mhm.
But in the back of my mind, I'm
Mhm.
really like, yeah, I got something for you. So
And
um,
I'm gonna go all out for you.
that's how it goes.
That's it. See, fellas, you listening to a married man, a great one. So you need to listen to his advice. Listening is key, fellas. On Valentine's Day, not even Valentine's Day every day. Y'all just need to listen.
Don't stop at Valentine's Day, man. It's got to be a good.
Exactly.
And I'm not
Exactly.
perfect. I don't always get it right. I definitely get it wrong. But I try. That's all
Yeah.
you can do is try.
That's all you can do is try. Now, I know that we are coming up towards the end of our interview, but I want to ask you before we get up out of here, any new projects for 2024? We're still in the first quarter of the year.
Yeah.
Any new projects that you will be dropping that we need to be on the lookout for and so we can support you?
Yes, that is. You sure we got to end this, man? I'm having too much fun.
Listen, I can go all night now.
So listen, I am. This is Mamba mentality year. So like
Mm.
I'm focused in. I'm honed in. In fact, I'm being experimental with my sound as well. So I'm not just sticking to R&B or historically hip hop. Like I'm doing what feels good to me. So don't be surprised if within the next few weeks I announce I got a Southern Soul single that's coming out, or
Ooh,
or
okay, okay.
in the next couple of months I'll be like, yeah, here's my soft rock song. You know what I'm saying? Because see, to me, music is all about feeling. I think to sum it all up, as an artist, my brand is about passion and love, right? So, and I don't mean that like love making songs, but I mean like genuine, unconditional love and doing what feels good. So, if I wake up tomorrow and decide that I want to make a song like Prom Queen, like Lil Wayne had, then that's what I'm gonna do. So just stay tuned. Follow me. I wish I would have known. I would have put my Instagram handle right there.
Oh, it's gonna go
'Cause
in the description.
I got you. But yeah, just stay tuned for the journey, man. Because I'm not here to just paint the picture like, oh yeah, I got it all figured out, because I don't. But for the people that's riding with me along the way, buckle up your seatbelts because we gone.
You about to take off. It's
There it
y'all
is,
about it's
baby.
mama mentality. It's go time. It is
Yep.
go time. Now I haven't done this in a while, but I do want to ask, what is something that you would tell another artist who wants to get where you are
Mm,
successfully, wants to continue to pursue their passion? What is one affirmation or one quote that you live by each and every day that can motivate someone to not give up in this
mm,
industry? Because we know it is a tough industry.
it is.
Music, entertainment, media, all of this is in any profession.
Yep.
Everything is tough. But what is
Absolutely.
something that a key word or advice that you would give to an artist that wants to continue to pursue their passion and not give up and be successful like you are, because you are a prime example of what hard work can do. So
Thank you.
what is something that you say or live by each and every day that will motivate someone not to give up?
Word. You are good enough.
Mm.
Drown out the noise. Focus on you and the people that support you. Don't worry about the ones that don't. Don't worry about the ones that say it ain't good enough. Don't worry about the ones that say, "Hey, you should get a day job or whatever." I mean, you need a job to take care of yourself or whatever. But drown out the noise. Focus on you and doing what makes you feel good. And the people that like it, they'll come along for the ride. Don't worry about anybody else.
Mm.
That's all I
Out.
got.
Ooh. Now that was deep. Like you had to get up all up in the
Because I want you,
camera to
I
like
want you to
really say
feel
this.
me. You feel me?
And I
Like that's what I'm about. That's my brand. Feel.
and I felt
All I
that.
want.
And I
Thank
felt that because, sometimes we get that imposter syndrome. We
Yep.
get people, the
Yep.
negative ones, our family or our friends, like, oh, you
Mm.
can't do that. Oh, you're not good enough. No, you need to
Yep.
get this job. No, you can't pursue your passion. You need
Yep.
to be more practical. This doesn't make money. I have heard it my whole life. And
Absolutely.
had I listened to those people, I would not be where I am today, or at least trying to pursue my passion. I
Yep.
always say, fix your plate of opportunity and eat. I was
Mm.
told this a long
Ooh.
time ago. If you are pregnant with
Absolutely.
your passion, it's going to show.
Yep.
So if you are an artist, if you are a creative, and I would say this, a lot of creatives, we get the most flack, we get the most negativity. But
Yep.
like you said, be who you are, be
Yep.
yourself, keep going,
Yep.
drown out the noise.
Straight up.
And that's powerful. And I thank you for sharing that, because that right there gave me um kind of lifted me up in a sense, because this is
Glad.
not easy. This is not easy.
Right.
Trust me.
Absolutely.
Trust me. This is not easy trying to do this every week. It is not
Yeah.
easy. It's the hard,
I
it's so
can
hard.
imagine.
But when you are passionate about something, you don't give up.
Straight up.
But of course, God will guide you. He has a plan for
Mm.
all of us. So when you're pregnant with your passion, he's going to see it through. He got plans for us.
Yes. Yeah.
And like I said, Jones, it has been a pleasure having you on. I feel like you really are family now.
Yeah, it is, baby.
You really are family. And before we leave, please drop all of your social media handles, your website, so we can follow you, keep up with you,
Yeah.
because you got some really, really good things coming, and we need to support our black artists. We need to
Ooh,
support our
absolutely.
black artists, and you got
Absolutely.
to support her. You are always welcome to come back on the Sip and Sip podcast.
Love it.
But just please drop all of your social media handles so we can, follow you and hit you up.
I will. Before I do that, can I please give a few more flowers?
Yes, go ahead, give your flowers.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So I am currently in Ultra Vibe Studio, owned by another artist, a fellow brother of mine, goes by the name of Big Cuddy. He is a Southern Soul artist. He just dropped I think about three singles not too long ago. I got the chance to see him in show on Sunday. We actually both were in show, but I got to see his performance live, and he shut it down. So big shout out to him for allowing me in his space. Um, Also, shout out to my producer team. I got four of them. I'm gonna mention all of them. So, CRG Productions. I got Fetty Knox and Raw with the Doll. Doll is digital audio writing and all that,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. So, Raw with the Doll. That's all you need to know. DAW. I got Outcast Music and I got Treo Snap. Um, between those guys, keeping my sound right. Thank you very much. Mo Beats is the one that made the instrumental for Rush that helped me to get to this platform. So thank
Mm.
you very much, Mo. I appreciate you. Now, all of my social media is the same everywhere. Is at I need Jones now. So I use that's part of my marketing. So anytime you have an event, I don't care whether it's 10 or 10,000 people, my job is to make you say, I need Jones now when you're looking for the artist to come and entertain your crowd. And my goal is to always make sure those people feel like either they paid way too little and got way too much, or they feel like they can't wait to come to your next event. Because if it's anything like this last one that Jones was at, we there.
Hey, and that's all. And look, and that's all it takes. I need Jones now. Y'all follow
It,
him, support him, go
yep.
on his website, give him a follow. If you want to collab with him, hit him up. Hit him up. If you got events coming up and you need a singer, a superstar, hit him up. We got to
Ooh,
support all of our black
right.
artists. Shout out to all of your producers, all of
Yes.
the artists that you talked about, your PR. Shout out to everybody that supports you. And of course, I want to thank you all for watching another episode of the Sip and Sup podcast. Thank you so much for continuously just showing love on this podcast, whether it's just commenting, liking, and just, viewing it. This is not easy, but this is something that I'm passionate about. And I know God will continue to bless me on this platform to use my voice. And thank you so much. And make sure you like and subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. And if you
Absolutely.
are an artist, or someone that works in the entertainment industry or entrepreneur and you want a interview, please hit me up at sipandsippodcast@gmail.com, as well as hit that follow button on Instagram at sipandsippodcast. Again, Jones, it is such a pleasure, and I will see you all in the next episode.
Thank
Peace.
you.